Warm Pacific greetings from Auckland, New Zealand. This is Tuakasi, aka the Afakazi. So, what's hot on our headlines recently is, and this actually makes me kind of chuckle and giggle. But recently I participated in a discussion thread, and it was about whether or not Kiwi Māori singer Stan Walker was an Australian or a New Zealander. Now, we all know Australia, New Zealand, we've got that arch rivalry when it comes to a lot of national sports, but that we're fiercely proud of our countries and our heritage. We've always had kind of a bit of that rivalry there, but at the same time, we're very close. We're like neighbours, and a lot of people here in New Zealand love Australia, and a lot of Australians love New Zealand. Not just the country, but the lifestyle, the culture, some of those things that make us different, make us really unique, and in fact actually bring us closer as a people. So I just wanted to just address some of the conflicting views that were shared about Stan Walker's his heritage, his whakapapa, but also his claim to fame. So on Wikipedia and other visual sources online, Stan Walker was born in Australia, yes. Spent a lot of time there, and he joined up with a church there. He participated on the show Australian Idol and was the first New Zealander with Māori ancestry to win Australia Idol, and as a result, he continued to build upon his claim to fame as a singer, as an entertainer, by releasing more independent albums, collaborating with other singers um, from Australia, but more notably here in New Zealand, particularly when he started to invest more in his career, then eventually became a judge on New Zealand Idol. So Stan Walker is very much so probably one of the most influential or prominent singers within Māoridom, but also within Aotearoa, New Zealand, simply on the basis that he has adapted in various contexts. He has showed us that yes, I can be a singer, but I can also be a judge, a mentor. I can collaborate with other singers, with other groups, and I want to help other aspiring singers and groups with particular reference to our Māori and our Pacific Island young people, but with particular reference to Māori. After all, he is a proud Māori, and he understands what it's like to be dislocated from Te Ao Māori, from your tūranga waiwai, where you come from, but also some of the hardship that a lot of our rangatahi in whānau face in the city. And so, in fact, Stan Walker is more than just a singer, a judge, or the winner of Australian Idol, that judge, Māori judge on New Zealand Idol. He is very much so a positive role model and icon. And I just wanted to assert that some of the comments that were made about whether or not Stan Walker was Australian or New Zealand just needed to be checked, cleared, clarified, and just reworded. Particularly that person who had said, Troy and Waihape, that those people who were disputing whether or not he was a New Zealander or an Australian were effing idiots. that needed to be reworded. I don't think that was appropriate to say that, but you have your own whakaaro. But once again, there is a certain way of expressing your thoughts and your opinions without just sounding really like loose. And to everyone else on YouTube who seem to have these conflicting views and conceptions about where he's come from, his identity, and just some of his experiences. Please do your homework and think before you speak, because it has a effect, negative or positive, on someone else. And I think at times, if you haven't done your homework, what you say can be easily misconstrued, and that there's just a lot of, to me anyway, there's a lot of just conflicting views about how authentic he was as a New Zealander or a Kiwi, which is kind of something that we shouldn't focus too much on. After all, Sam Walker is very much so a lot of things to everyone. So whether or not he's a New Zealander, an Australian, a Māori, a hybrid Māori, a not very Māori, or whatever, he is in fact an icon, a role model, and I think if we look at it from a critical lens, just look at where he's come from and just the struggles that he's had to overcome to get where he is. So, for example, the fact that he was sexually abused as a child. He is very much so that person who has opened doors of opportunity for those victims of abuse to talk openly about what it was like to be abused. He is also very open about some of his deficient experiences of coming from a background where drug and alcohol abuse was normal. So he has opened up doors for victims of alcohol and drug addictions to talk about and eventually overcome drug and alcohol abuse. So you see, Stan Walker, as I mentioned earlier on before, is he's not just a singer, a judge, or that icon from New Zealand or Australia. He is a lot of things, and that is a consequence of his whakapapa. The fact that he is Māori, but also very influential in the sense that he's had a lot of different experiences of being a resident here in New Zealand, Australia, and just mixing with people from different walks of life. So just from me here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, in Auckland, I just wanted to say kia ora and ka kite peace.